right, people, lights, camera, action. Let's get this news broadcast on the way. Jimmy, can we please cue up more of the lights back here? This lamp ain't gonna be enough to go for the rest of this video. I didn't pay the light bill. What do you mean I didn't pay the light bill? I swear to you, I got the payments last 2 months behind. Well, listen, first of all, you can't be blaming me for not paying the bills, all right? First of all, PBS Kids was supposed to buy this shit, and if we weren't on this shit fest right now, where we can't get no advertising, can't get no sponsorships, can't get no backups, what are we supposed to do? That's the best I can do. That's the best. Well, you want me to get a torch? You want me to get a candle? Is that the best I'm able to do? All right, forget you, Jimmy. Karen, over here, please. Can you please bring over the Red Bull? All right, make sure it's no sugar, and it's got to be that blueberry summer edition, all right? If it's not, might have to cut your paycheck, all right? All right, Jimmy. You have to pull up the report for Slappy Birthday to You because that's what the people want for this review. Listen here. All right, you son of a bitch. If you don't listen to we're live? Wait, this is all getting... Hello, everybody, to the United States of America and the rest of the world. This is Unprofessional News Channel 90902. Okay, we're here to talk about the next Goosebumps entry within the series that has not been covered yet by your unprofessional news channel. And that is none other than the first Slappyworld book. That's right, the very first book to the new series of Goosebumps that's out right now. Wait, House of Shivers is the first book to the new series? Wait, so what's Slappyworld? Oh, that's the series that came before. Okay. All right. Well, Slappyworld, the second to news series, the first book within it, even though Slappyworld technically ended, we're here to talk about Slappy Birthday to You. That's right, Slappy Birthday to You happens to be one of the most innovative Night of Living Dummy books to ever come out within the recent ages. That's right, Stein is building off of that hype that the Goosebumps movies brought towards Slappy and making him the #1 mascot. Because we've been deprived of Slappy content for a long time. Jimmy, how many Slappy stories are out there within the Goosebumps realm? 25. 25 stories. And that's including he also made a cameo in the GYG Carnival of Horrors, right? That's what I thought. He's also on, Screams live on stage, right? That's right. So yeah, around 25 Slappy stories. We have been deprived, people. I believe Haunted Mask is like four books, and Slappy's got like what, 20, over 20. So yeah, anyway, we haven't been getting any Slappy content, so this is what we're really in need of. And Stein decided to innovate the game. He decided to change the entire world because, ladies and gentlemen, people, Slappyworld, the new book, Slappy Birthday to You, happens to be one of the most innovative Slappy books to ever hit the game, all right? Let's talk about some of the innovations that this book has done, all right? It has annoying dog shit characters in it. That's extremely new. We haven't experienced that in, any other Slappy book as far as I'm concerned. You said Night of Living Dummy 3. You know what? That's actually true. Night of Living Dummy 3 did have some dog shit characters in it. I also heard, according to some other people, that, Ghost of Slappy, the characters weren't that good. Night of Living Dummy 1, technically, the twins were annoying, right? They kind of get retconned. So yeah, having doo-doo garbage characters within a Slappy book, that's brand new. Stein has never done that before. All right, next up we have a talent show. Truly innovational, people. There has been no talent shows done within Slappy book. Oh, talent shows are within every Slappy book? That's actually true. That is true. Talent shows are within every single Slappy book. It's even the Night of the Puppet People. And that's not even a Slappy book. So, well, this talent show has a lot more talent than there's ever been in a Goosebumps talent show. And it's also showing more than any other talent show. Anyway, Slappy's in it. That's in every book. He actually gets new powers in this one. All right, he has the ability to turn other dummies to life. Right, that's innovative. Even though that was done in Night of Living Dummy 3, right? That was for like half a page, which is a lot because Night of Living Dummy 3 has multiple dummies in it, which makes it the best dummy book to some dumbasses' minds. But it is what it is. Half a page of dummies, that's a lot. And this one you get, I think, half a page as well. Slappy can also do green vomit, which is acidic. It burns victims. Wait, this man has acidic vomit in this book? He can just burn people? That's not in any other Slappy book. He has telekinesis. Wait, you're telling me that Slappy is a Scarlet Witch in this bitch? He got telekinesis up in here? What's next? He got magnet powers? Well, he's moving around the metal objects in the garage, which is technically like, you know what? Forget this. Okay, this book does nothing new. All right, so shout out to Unprofessional News. That's the end of this segment. This book does nothing new. It is doo-doo garbaggio. Okay, the writing is terrible. The characters are not good. And if you expect me to sit here and talk about Slappy as if this book is supposed to be something revolutionary, something good, something that I'm supposed to look forward to, ain't no way in hell. Because this book is doo-doo garbage. It has terrible characters. It has Slappy with powers that have never been in any other book. This man's got telekinesis now. He's got acidic spit. He's got a whole bunch of shit. I mean, that's not in any books. All right, you have an entire middle section, right, where basically nothing happens. All right, it's one big giant prank that essentially leads to nothing. Okay, that's just in the middle portion of the book. There's an entire giant fake out scene involving, I guess, like a past birthday or a past trip that the main character did with his father that I thought would be, you know, hold some relevance. Doesn't hold any relevance. It's just a fake out scene, just for a fake out scene, and it takes up quite a significant portion of the middle of the book. All right. You also have Slappy going with the two other side characters, which just I guess connects the family together. It's really just there to flex a new power. It's not really any story relevance. And yeah, the ending is super predictable. So this book is not good. All right. It doesn't take a news broadcaster to tell you that this book is nothing new, nothing good, and nothing stand out in terms of Slappy books, as stand out as Slappy books can be. And you know, Slappy books stand out as much as a paraplegic. But you didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear it from me. So okay, so let's talk about what Slappy Birthday to You, the very first Slappyworld book, is really about. So this book is about a main character, I believe named Ian, and it's his birthday. And you can see him right away within his family dynamic. He's fighting with his younger sister Molly as they fight over who gets the last bit of, like, I guess some pancakes. I guess they're fighting over the last blueberry pancake. And it's his birthday. He feels like he deserves to get it. Molly's obviously, as usual, a little crap, as many Goosebumps younger siblings are. And they're constantly arguing and fighting with each other. Even though it's his birthday, that doesn't mean the fighting stops. And his mother basically reveals that at his birthday party, which is going to be at his house, she decided to invite his two cousins, Johnny and Vince, over. And Johnny and Vince are two little snot-nosed brats. They basically harass Ian all the time. They have no manners. They cause a lot of destruction. They give his family a really hard time every time they come over. They're basically two animals. And partially because the uncle and aunt don't basically train him at all. So they're basically coming over, and Ian feels like his birthday party is basically going to be ruined. As they arrive, he gets punched in the gut. He gets basically them messing with his video games, playing with his toys, messing up and eating all the food before the party could even begin. And then as they're opening up gifts, which is for Ian, they eventually get to this dummy. And the reason why he was gifted a ventriloquist dummy is because his dad basically has a doll hospital in the basement of the house, where he basically collects broken dolls, messed up ventriloquist dolls, and rebuilds them, and basically gives them into a new face, a new light, new aesthetic, and kind of make them brand new. Very similar to the father at Night of the Living Dummy 3. So yeah, reused concepts. And as Ian basically unwraps his gift, he sees the ventriloquist dummy that his dad gifted him, which is named Slappy. Now, obviously, stuff goes downhill from here for the family because he ends up reading out the magic words as he's basically fighting over custody with his two cousins of who could use Slappy. Reads out the magic words, and basically, it's revealed, I think before he reads out the magic words, if I can recall. It's been a long time since I read this book. But, of course, it's revealed that there's going to be a family talent show. Truly innovative stuff. How many goddamn talent shows does a Night of the Living Dummy book need? Is that a requirement for you can't figure out anything else to do with that story? Really? I mean, this is, again, you know, innovative content. You have a talent show, a family talent show. Never been done before. Night of the Living Dummy 2. And every other book, I think. So yeah, you have a talent show going on. And obviously they're getting ready for their acts. The cousins are about to perform. Molly is basically playing with her toy as well. She got a doll, Abigail, which the father recreated. And basically Ian's going to be using Slappy at the talent show. Of course. He's going to be using it. He reads out the magic word. Slappy comes to life. And then at the talent show, they're out in the basically backyard. And the two cousins, are basically juggling pins. I believe Johnny ends up getting hit in the head and basically kind of has like a little mini concussion. And Slappy starts laughing at him and starts insulting him and starts insulting the family. And the family start getting mad at Ian, thinking he's obviously doing it. He's the one doing this inappropriate behavior, even though we all know Slappy's alive. And you have this extremely stupid, mind-numbingly dumb scene, which is Ian is basically yelling at Slappy to stop. And Slappy is yelling back or like laughing. He's like laughing, insulting, doing all his stuff, while Ian is simultaneously yelling at Slappy. And the parents keep on blaming Ian and, basically threatening him that we're going to get you into more trouble. Yeah, there's kind of a problem with that. How is your son able to project his voices in two different places at the same time? Slappy is laughing and throwing out insults while Ian is yelling at him simultaneously. Slappy is laughing and Ian's yelling at him to stop at the same time. How is your son able to speak simultaneously in two different voices with two different characteristics? That's not possible. Did Stein care? No, he clearly doesn't care. And I have to read through this. Yeah, so it's very stupid. The parents are some of the worst parents in the world. They keep on blaming Ian for everything. They let Johnny and Vince get away with whatever they want to do. And they're clearly brainless as far as I'm concerned. More stuff starts happening. I believe Molly's doll, Abigail, ends up having her head ripped off the next morning or something. And obviously, Ian's the one getting blamed because he's blaming Slappy for it. You also have basically Molly shoving Ian into a fish tank and it shatters. And, he basically gets grounded, basically gets in trouble. And yeah, at that point, you basically just get the rest of the story, which is basically a shift in the perspective where Slappy's getting handed off to basically two other characters that you're introduced to, and you find out how he interacts with these side characters. You get introduced to his new power, and he basically goes with these side characters just to end up going back to the same house that Ian's at. So it's just this additional scene where he goes back with these two kids. Nothing happens except he threatens and harasses them. And then he gets sent back to the same place. And I guess it brings those characters to believe him, but at the same time, they still do kind of like a misdeed or poor judgment tactic involving Slappy. So they're not technically redeemed. It's just bringing all the characters on the same page for the most part. And I forgot. I mentioned it in the beginning. The whole reason why he wanted to get a ventriloquist dummy when he unwraps and sees Slappy is basically that his dad took him on a trip to this ventriloquist dummy, I guess, shop or something. It was like this castle-like place, and there was a guy called Babyface who has a doll mask over his face because he's so ugly that he can't show it. And Ian basically gets like lost in there as a little kid. He thinks that the dummies are coming alive and talking and singing to him and making fun of him. And then the employees are acting like his father was never there, and he's lost there. And it all turns out to be one giant, scary, stupid-ass prank that leads to nothing. And do you know why that's in the middle of the book? You tell me, because I don't know why it's in there. Doesn't lead to anything. It's just, I guess the reason why he's into ventriloquism, it could have been explained in one sentence that he was interested because he went to go visit a ventriloquist shop with his dad. One sentence could have explained why he's into ventriloquism. Instead, you get this giant sequence, which turns out to be one giant fake out and then leads to nothing. So that's in the book. And then you get Slappy shenanigans, and then you get what I talked about, the switching of perspectives to the suit Tide characters. They get harassed, and then they bring them back to Ian's house. Again, just go to them. Nothing happens. They come back to the main story. There is like two cutaways that really lead to nothing. And on top of that, Slappy has new powers in this book. He has this acidic vomit, which can burn victims. He has telekinesis. He starts moving objects with his mind like he's Scarlet Witch in this bitch. Bars. But yeah, he's using telekinesis. Just new powers that are added to him randomly. No explanation, no real buildup, just thrown in there for the sake of being thrown in there. And then you get to the climax of the book, which ends up kind of a little bit similar to Night Living Dummy 3. And it ends up with a very predictable ending that I saw from 2 Miles Coming. And yeah, that's really all there is to the book. So if you want to know how I feel about this book, I feel like it was a complete waste and it didn't need to exist, because for the first book of Slappyworld, this book basically takes a bunch of tropes and traits from the previous Night of Living Dummy books and kind of does them in a much more poor, bland way. You have annoying characters. Ian doesn't have much personality. His two cousins are terrible. Molly is a little brat. The parents are beyond stupid. The whole family are just not good characters. You have this cutaway scene in the middle, which is just some backstory for why Ian's into ventriloquism, but it didn't add anything to the story. It didn't lead to anything in the plot point. It's just this big explanation for this one elaborate prank that his dad pulled on him, and that all just leads to him being into dummies. That's all there is. It could have been handled in one sentence or two sentences. Instead, you get like chapters or multiple chapters of essentially this cutaway flashback scene for no reason. You have Slappy being transferred over to some of the side characters for a little bit, and that doesn't lead to anything. It just leads to them, I guess being convinced that Slappy's alive, but it's not like it makes much of a big difference because they make a decision that still ruins Ian's life. So, they're not morally redeemed in any way. They're just sort of included within the mess, and they still made a bad decision that would have messed up Ian's life, basically, furthermore. So they suck. They continue to suck. Slappy has random powers which make no sense. I guess he's more malicious in this book at that part, which is a little bit interesting. I guess that makes him more interesting in this book. But the rest of the book has such poor writing and basically nothing going on that I wasn't interested at all within it. And, aside from that, you have the climax, which nothing really happens. It's just sort of a Night of the Living Dummy 3 copycat. And then it has a very predictable ending that I saw from a mile away. So I'm like, what is there really to take away with this book? Nothing. Unless you want to see Slappy use some new powers, I guess that's what you can enjoy with it. Otherwise, it's essentially recycling all the old Night of the Living Dummy concepts, does all the same tropes, has a poor set of characters, has wonky writing, the pacing's not that good, it has some filler stuff in there, and then the climax is lackluster. So really not much to this book. And on top of that, this is more so a Slappyworld complaint, just in general. But Slappy interrupting at multiple points in the book to talk about himself in the story is not interesting to me, and I don't like it at all. I can get having Slappy in the beginning of the book and then having him at the ending of the book, right? Basically starting and concluding the story. But having him interrupt multiple times in the middle of the book at different sections just to talk about himself, and like he just says stuff like, oh, you won't believe what I'm about to do next. He has no idea what I'm planning. I'm about to get jiggy with it. The Rizzler's coming in. I don't know what it says, bro. I forgot the dialogue he says. It's all forgettable. Classic Slappy, yo mama jokes, stupid humor. No offense, but it's dumb humor. And again, he's interrupting just to talk about himself. So it's breaking the fourth wall, taking you out of the story, and then trying to throw you back in and for some reason care. It's like meta, just to be too meta. I don't really get it. I didn't think it was that good of an idea. I think Slappy's okay if he started the beginning and ending to a book, especially a beginning and ending to a Slappyworld story that does not involve Slappy. But if Slappy is directly in the story, why is he introducing himself and ending his own story? And at the same time, why is he interrupting multiple times to talk about himself and how good he is? That's literally what this book does. He interrupts multiple times just to talk about how good he is and how awesome he is. That sucks, dude. I don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. So yeah, this Slappyworld book is not good to me. I didn't enjoy this Slappy book at all. I thought it's one of the weakest starts to any Goosebumps series that I read so far. Compare this to Welcome to Dead House, to Cry of the Cat, to something like Carnival of Horrors, which I've not read, but I've heard great things about. This is not a strong start to a Goosebumps series. And yeah, I'm going to give this book probably a 4 out of 10. And if I'm being generous, a 4.5 out of 10. This is not a good book. It's pretty doo-doo. It's not the worst thing I've ever read, but it's not entertaining and it feels like a giant waste of time. So I can't really give this one too much praise. And yeah, I mean, maybe if you enjoy it, shout out to you. But to be honest, this is not doing anything new in terms of Slappy's story, and it just kind of reuses the same old stuff. So yeah, if you like that, if you just want to, I guess, have another Night Living Dummy book rehash done in kind of a weaker way, go ahead and read it. But to me, 4 out of 10, 4.5 out of 10 if I'm being generous. And yeah, that's it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this review and if you like my content, feel free to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button down below. It's free. It's a way that lets me know you guys are supporting the content, lets me know what type of content you guys enjoy, and lets me know what to focus my future reviews on. And also comment down below your own thoughts and opinions. Have you read Slappy Birthday to You? How do you feel about the book? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? How do you feel about Slappyworld in general for those of you who have finished or almost finished? Do you feel like it's a strong series? Do you feel like it's pretty weak? And in terms of Slappy portrayed in Slappyworld, do you think it's better than the previous Slappy books in Most Wanted, Horrorland, and even the OG 62 in Series 2000? Let me know down below. But that's all I have today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, deuces. Yo, unprofessional news, man. You'd think I'd at least get paid for this stuff. You think I could at least get a paycheck, but no, I can't afford the light bill. I can't afford the water bill. I can't afford to even get a Red Bull. The Red Bull she brought me was a Rockstar Energy. I mean, seriously, what part of Rockstar and Red Bull sounds the same? I mean, I guess if they are. I guess if they are. And I guess it doesn't really matter because it's just an energy drink. But it's the thought that counts. This button is choking off my circulation of air, so I'm going to end the video. Bye-bye.